Cheaper than our producer's underage sister. Edgier than the stuff shown on late night television. Newer than Kim Kardashian's ex. Live from Orlando, it's Crazy Train Radio.
Hi, this is Adrienne King, and you may know me from Friday the 13th, The Soul Survivor, and I'm here with Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, I guess we're going to scare you a little bit here with Adrienne King, probably best known for Friday the 13th work, 1 and 2, but she's obviously done so much more in her career. But hello Adrienne, how are you?
I'm great, Adam. How you doing?
Great. Well, first of all, I'd like to mention, because we were talking a little while ago off air, AdrienneKing.com, and also the wine. What can you tell us about the wine you got going on?
Well, jumping right into that, Crystal Lake wines, of course. It was a no-brainer when I moved to wine country in Southern Oregon, which has been outed as the new Napa and Sonoma. I partnered up with the oldest and best family-owned winery locally in Southern Oregon, right down the road from me, and I'm growing grapes, and we're cranking out some really awesome wine.
Well, personally, and I got one question with the wine before we get going into your acting career. I'm not much of a wine person, but some of our fans are. If they're going to look into Crystal Lake wines, what can you tell them, what makes yours different compared to other wines that are out there?
Okay, well, first off, it's Crystal Lake Wines with my label of my artwork of Alice in the Canoe. So each of the varietals, and I have 4 of them right now, and they all the names of the wines are now, because of the fans have really gotten into this. Each one of the varietals has a name that's somehow related to Friday the 13th, of course. Would you like me to go through them?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. Well, the first one we came up with, which was started the clever names, because first we had a Cabernet Sauvignon and a regular Chardonnay, and they sold out. Everybody loved them. And then I came up with Syrah is my personal favorite wine. I love it because it's a little spicy, and it's a red, and it's really delicious with pasta or basically anything. You can just drink it. So I called it Survivor Syrah.
Okay, that's pretty creative.
That was creative, right? And then the next one I came up with was Camp Blush, and that's a wine for even non-wine drinkers. That's a nice little, it has a little sweetness to it, almost like drinking a light strawberry jam. Is that safe to say that's a red wine? It's actually a blush wine, which is why we call it Camp Blush. Yeah, so And if you go onto the Crystal Lake Wines website, it describes the wines, and they're not just a gimmick. That's the whole thing. Now I've encouraged all the campers, I call my fans my happy campers, I've encouraged them to drink the wines, save the bottles, because they were just saving the bottles because I signed them. But as soon as they actually opened them and drank them, they were ordering more. So that's what I want to encourage, because it's really great wine at an affordable price. So let me get through the rest really quickly. So then the next one was Moonlit Chardonnay. And my final one, which really took a while, was Cabin A Sauvignon, as opposed to Cabin B's Almost Ready. So that is, and they, the Cabin A Sauvignon pairs really great with steaks and pastas, and I'm more of a seasonal drinker, so when it heats up and summer comes around, I love the Moonlit Chardonnay and the Camp Flush. So that's my sales pitch for Crystal Lake Wines, and who would have thought a soul survivor from Friday the 13th and a New York girl at that would end up in the boonies of Oregon and producing fine wine. Not me.
No, but while we're at that, to wrap that part up, make sure you visit AdrienneKing.com and CrystalLakeWines.com to check that more information about that for our wine drinkers. And please drink safely.
Absolutely.
You're acting.
No.
We got to say, if you're going to drink smartly.
Right, drink very
drink
smartly.
Responsibly.
Hang at the campsite overnight if you're going to drink.
Yes. But now that we did our PSA for safe drinking and driving and whatnot.
You're going to get awards from the state and from the governor of New Jersey. The Governor Christie's going to call you.
Oh, yeah, because she saw my cell phone is from Jersey, so yeah, there'll be a couple phone calls later in the week when people hear this.
That's
so
okay.
I hope she knows a good. I'm calling Adrienne back to get her lawyer if that's the case. But anyway, let's jump into Friday the 13th, obviously, because that's what you're most known for.
Yes.
Even though, well, first of all, how did you get involved with the project?
Well, when this all happened, it was the summer of 1979, way before you and your listeners were probably even born. And I was a young an actress in New York City, along with thousands of other young actors and actresses that read the backstage, which was, where you got, if you weren't signed by a theatrical agent, you read them to go to casting calls. And I only had a commercial agent at the time, so I was reading backstage, and there was an open call on Broadway and 44th at the Minskoff Studios for all young, nubile actors and actresses who want to be campers, 18 to 25, show up, and hundreds for 3 days. They had open calls. Yeah, everybody in the city was seen.
Okay, what made you stand out more, do you think, compared to all these other people coming for this audition?
Well, let me ask you, after seeing the movie, was there anything that, pretend you're Sean Cunningham and you're looking for a quality. Was there any quality in Alice that you saw resonate, that you think, he saw in an audition? Because people ask you this question, I'm throwing it back to you.
If we're going to sit here and nitpick and put my Sean Cunningham hat on.
Yes.
I'd have to say, there's so many different things that we can, such as the personality and the way you played the character. But if I'm running a casting call, there's one thing that most people look at in horror movies that I'm going to go with.
What's
I'm
that?
go with the screen.
You got it. Ding, 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 ding. That's my guess. I mean, it was a couple of callbacks, but on the final screen test, we went through a couple of scenes, improv scenes, with basically the scene where Laurie Bartram's character, Brenda, flies through the window, where it's actually Tom Savini. The screen test was pretending someone had flown into the window, dead, your best, dear friend, and go for it. And then, so it was all about the improv and the screams, and Sean later told me also that each one of the people he picked as campers had to be truly identifiable as a kid next door. And I think he covered every type of personality, you know, and I think everybody related to either one or two or maybe three or four of the campers, and that's what makes a movie have legs and, you know, go on for 33 odd years, that it still holds up. You identify with the people.
Well, obviously, and I was reading on different sites, but also on another plug for you, AdrienneKing.com, that when you were moving to Oregon, like you mentioned, you actually found some interesting stuff packed away when you're unloading in your new art studio. What was some of that stuff you found?
Well, I found a really dusty old box all taped up that was labeled Friday the 13th, junk. So I opened it up, and lo and behold, it was a treasure trove of memorabilia from the actual shoot. And inside there were my original cowboy boots, which I now have. You know, I have them in the closet. I look at them. I never wear them, but there they are. I have all the turquoise jewelry I wore. I have all these Polaroids that I would pick up, continuity shots that we had from the shoot. I pick them up because we never even, some of us didn't believe we had enough money to finish at certain times. And so this was a hedge for me. I could always create a collage, I figured. So I collected those, and what I found my clothes, and inside the jeans pocket were Sean Cunningham's original notes from the night we actually shot that scene on the beach with Betsy Palmer, the final scene. Can you believe that?
Oh. That's pretty cool to have still to this day.
Yeah, I mean, Sean actually took the notes, and this is the key, this is the real amazing thing, is that there were 13, count them, not 12, not 14, but 13 director's notes for that scene on the beach. And he just crumpled them up after we were bloodied and bruised for 12 hours straight, and threw them away, and I grabbed them and totally forgot about them. And when I opened up this box, I made a poster for Sean and one for me with those 13 notes, and he just went ballistic. He just could not believe it, that after 25 odd years, these resurfaced, and that kids could watch, fans, campers worldwide could actually watch that scene the way he shot it through his eyes. And it's the only piece of Friday the 13th art he actually has hanging up in his office. And he's the one who told me to make a poster for the fans and put it on my website and sell it really inexpensive so everyone could share in that. And so I did, a limited edition. You can find it on my website. It's pretty trippy.
Well, obviously during this time, and it's known amongst the fans and whatnot, you actually had a scary time after one and filming it too with a stalker. And obviously it wasn't a crime at the time. What happened with that? Are you willing to elaborate?
Well, you know, back in the day when it was going on, it was pretty nasty because it wasn't considered a crime, as you said, and, you know, it's not like you had cell phones or, cameras in every corner. So but there were no laws against it. So, you know, things were rough for a year or so there. My art got very dark, which was a very good positive thing for my art because it was very pretty before that, and dark is so much more interesting, don't you think?
Yes.
But anyway, I'm laughing at it now, but it was pretty ugly, and because of that, I ended up going to London and studying Shakespeare in London, and that's my little second home away from home. I love London. They were very good to me over there during that period of time. And then I came back to this country on a gig for All My Children, and in the wings, I screen tested, got the part, was in the wings, and my heart started pounding in my chest so immensely that I just knew this an anxiety was about to anxiety attack unfolded, and that was it for on camera for a long, long time, and I went into voiceovers.
Yes, well, I was actually going to ask you about that, the voiceover and the looper work. How much did you enjoy that, and was there a lot of projects that you were actually involved in that many people may or may not know about?
Well, yeah, I really did enjoy it. It was a little niche, just that I was very good at, and I could play, still keep my energies and my just all my love for the business. At least I felt like I was still plugged into it by doing the voiceovers. And the more you do, the better you get. And I ended up doing looping, which is where your voice is actually plugged into another person's mouth, so to speak. Does that make sense, Adam?
Yes.
Okay. So I ended up doing some really great stuff and worked with some very cool people. I did the Titanic. I worked for Titanic for 2 weeks, and actually was the last breath where she throws the pendant into the water. You know, I have such weird things on my resume, but that's one of them. Titanic, and I worked with Johnny Depp in Whatever Happened to Gilbert Grape, or that was so much fun to do with him because we were both from the genre and had a lot in common, and you know, it got to still play in the business, which you know was my love, that and painting, all my first loves. And if you know, you name it, I did over probably 100 or so movies while I was out in LA for 10 years, including like 7 years on Melrose Place. And if you look at my website, you'll see the long list.
AdrienneKing.com.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll pound it into the fans. I better get.
Yeah, we're gonna pound it like Jason with his machete. So.
There you go. There you go. You hear that, Curtis?
Right.
Curtis is my webmaster, and we've got to now I have to update the site. We got to get back on track here. We were getting lazy for a little bit, but now that you're sending everybody to the website, Adam, I'm going to have to make sure it's updated pretty soon.
But actually, checking out your credentials other than Friday the 13th, and me, I kind of popped for when I saw that you worked with Sammy Davis Jr. in a 7-Up commercial. How was Sammy to work with?
I did. That's what I'm telling you. I have the most bizarre credits on my resume. That was before Saturday Night Fever when I danced with John Travolta. So, yeah, Sammy Davis Jr. and I tap danced with, had a headdress. I was like a showgirl, if you can even imagine. And I tried finding this commercial. I don't know where it's hiding. I would love to see it. Because needless to say, I had like 25 pounds of 7-Up bubbles on my head. And I was tapped into. So who wouldn't want to see that? It was fun. You know, it was a blast, and Saturday Night Fever, you know, I was on that again for probably 3 weeks dancing, and if you blink, you miss me because they changed, there's no continuity, and I had 3 different dresses in one scene, and 3 different hairstyles, and it's really fun to try and find me, actually.
Yeah, well, obviously, to have 2 different hunks and from 2 different eras there with John Travolta, who is still kicking in the Hollywood circles, but also I'm a big fan of the Rat Pack and all, which is why I said I popped of seeing you work with Sammy Davis Jr. I thought was just awesome.
Totally. I mean, I do remember that so well. He was iconic at that point. Now, you know, I'm sorry about that call waiting. Who's ever waiting, go away.
Yeah. But
yeah,
to work with such a nice time like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I worked with a lot of very, very cool people in my life, truly.
Well, obviously, to bring it back to Friday the 13th there, though, do you do a lot of the convention circuits and all now, or?
Not so much. Not so much. Traveling has gotten so hard and so just really tough. I live in the boonies, like you know, and just to get to my airport is a good drive. And then from my airport to get to any place, which would be like Salt Lake or whatever, or San Francisco, it's just like one flight a day. And so getting to anywhere for me is a full day, and then getting back is a full day, and then God forbid they cancel the flights, right? So not so many. I try and go where I haven't been. Like I was, the last show I did was in Nashville, and I'm so happy I did it. It was the Full Moon Convention in April, and I got to see Richard Brooker before he passed. So I was so happy. That was a week before he passed away. So needless to say, I'm so thankful I said yes to that. So thank you, Ben and Stacey Dixon and Sean Clark, for telling me, yes, you have to go to Nashville. And I'm sure your fans probably feel the loss too.
Well, I know my fans are fans in the Northeast. There is a show going on in August. I'm not allowed to mention the name on air, but their show in August is doing a Friday the 13th reunion with a lot of people, whether it was the people who play Jason or other characters. They're doing part of their thing, which is cool, is to remember Richard. So that's why I asked if you're going to be doing any.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that's going on. You know, it's interesting because I don't even hear about a lot of the convention offers. What happens is I have a manager by the name of Sean Clark, who's a sweet man, and
we know Sean, yes.
You know Sean, right? And he's a wonderful guy. And
oh yeah.
I just, I give it up to him. He knows what I need to get someplace, and he knows where I've been and where I haven't been. So I kind of leave it to him to figure out when and where I'm traveling. You know.
Yeah. Well,
With my painting, I'm full-time artist here, and with the wine, I do love to get out there every so often and hit a good convention where I can meet a lot of people I haven't met before. That's what I like to do, So I don't do too many of them, but I really enjoy each and every one I do. I love meeting my fans.
Well, we can say, Sean, we do love you, and we just got you a couple name drops as well. I'm not sure if he's SeanClark.com, but hey, why not?
Actually, what is it? It's, oh goodness, I should know.
I don't have this information, and I don't want to give out certain information that, we're not supposed to.
No, I was going to say he would probably kill me.
Yeah. The phone will be ringing right behind Governor Christie there, so.
No. His company, anybody who needs to find Sean Clark knows how to find him.
Just do a Google search of Sean Clark, you'll find him. But let's wrap this up with a talk, because you brought it up there in the last answer, about your painting. What brought you to painting, and you're a full-time artist? What do you do now with it?
Well, I was, I had a scholarship to FIT in New York, and I was as much as immersed in painting as I was in acting, and it was kind of whatever happened first. And acting took off before my painting, and now my painting's really finding its audience. My Alice in Canoe and my painting Alice's Dream, both of those sold at the Misty Moon Gallery last year in London. I have a real following, not just Friday the 13th fans, but art collectors. And again, you can see clays of my work that actually sold and are available for purchase. I just found some because I'm not doing them again because they're so expensive to do. But I found some that were left over from London that I didn't even know I had. So those I just posted on the website. But it's always been a passion of mine. I've been very, very blessed in this world to have two passions, the art and the acting. And when I wasn't doing one, I was doing the other. So it's just now I'm not doing the acting as much because I'm waiting for Art Mastronardi's Tales of Poe to come out and my Queen of Dreams character to be the one I hang it up on in terms of acting. So keep your eye out for that one. And for painting, it's just it's part of my soul, and I'm going to start selling some more of my originals in the net. Starting in a few weeks, we'll get those up on my website. But Yeah, my dark art is still very precious to me, and now I'm putting a little bit more light into some of my other things. So, yeah, it's. Thank you for asking, Adam. It's just very near and dear to my heart.
And right now, just to wrap, before we wrap this up, because we were just talking and laughing about him, Sean Clark. It's Convention All Stars, and I'm sending him a message now of how much love we're sending him, so he's not as surprised.
You want to know where he is right now? He's in London.
No, I heard he's in London.
Yeah, he is. He is. Everybody's going to the Misty Moon Gallery and visiting Stuart, my brother Stuart Morris, who puts on the most incredible art exhibitions with the films. And he had, just this past weekend, he had Nancy, you'll tell me her name, from Amityville Horror. What's Nancy's last name? Uh-oh.
I'm having a brain fart.
Franklin. Nancy Franklin? I think so. Your fans will know. But anyway, we created 2 years ago something very extraordinary. So if anyone is in the UK, check out Misty Moon Gallery's website, because there's always, I was the first one, and I loved it so much I told everybody in the horror genre, if Stuart calls you, you got to say yes, because you'll never have a better time in your life. And it's in an old carriage house. You watch your films, you have art all around you, and you have an intimate evening with the people that come, and it's fabulous. We should have one of those in this country.
Nice. Well, tell you what we do, because you just mentioned it with the listeners knowing, and obviously you know the horror fans are very loyal and whatnot. If anybody can email the show with the actual answer there, we'll hook you up with something nice. Yeah, we'll make a little game of it. Why not? So,
Why not? Oh, here, we'll do this game. I've got a good one just for you, Adam. You know those ukuleleles I was talking about on my website? Yeah. If anyone orders them and mentions your show or you, I will include an 8x10 additionally at no charge.
Okay, now what are we offering again? What is that? On AdrienneKing.com?
Yeah, if they purchase one of my giclées, which is the high-end print of my painting, and you will see that. Then if you mention that you heard about it on your show, I will include...
Or mention a croc and Crazy Train Radio. Go to AdrienneKing.com. You heard her there.
Right. I will include for them, at their choice, either a free poster that we were talking about or a free 8x10 signed. How's that?
Hey guys, you heard it. Yeah, you can't beat that offer. Adrienne King. AdrienneKing.com. Friday the 13th. Thank you so much.
Adam, my pleasure, and you enjoy the rest of your summer. Try and stay cool, guys.
Stay cool in Oregon.
We will. Thank you so much.